You are listening to the Million Dollar Coach Business Podcast with Amanda Karlstad, episode number 246. Welcome to the Million Dollar Coach Business Podcast, a show for coaches who are ready to up-level their business and take their impact, leadership, and results to $1 million level and beyond. If you're ready to break through your limitations and start taking powerful action and become the seven-figure version of you that your business needs in order to grow, scale, and thrive, this show is for you. I'm your host, Amanda Karlstad, master coach, high-level business mentor and advisor, master intuitive, and business growth and scaling expert. Let's get down to business. Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to this episode. It's great to have you here. I hope your summer is going well, or whatever season you're experiencing, depending on where you're tuning in from. Here we are full on in summer, and we've already been having so much fun. The kids have already gotten a few camps under their belt, and we are gearing up for some travel and the upcoming holiday and having a great time. And I hope that you are too. What I want to share with you today is something that I think you're going to find a ton of value in. And that is this concept of using your future self as a tool for the present. And I've talked about the importance of your future self in this podcast, and I've done various episodes about the importance of your future self, and we'll link in the show notes those past episodes. I would highly recommend you go back and listen to those episodes. But one of the distinctions that I have found to be extremely useful is to use my future self, to use the future vision that I have for myself and what that looks like as a tool for myself in the present. And I have found this distinction of using it as a present tool to be so extremely useful. And it's one of the things that I know can be a really powerful tool for you as well. So let's dive in. One of the reasons why your future self, your future vision is so powerful is because it forces you out of your default thinking. And for any human, myself included, our default line of thinking very often, and especially if we consider the context of growing and scaling a business, our default line of thinking very often is to think from the past. And so what this means is that without even consciously being aware of this, our brains by default are always scanning for evidence, looking for evidence where, for example, there might be danger, or evidence for things that we might want to avoid, things that could potentially harm us. And this is a really beautiful function of our primitive brain, is to do that work of constantly keeping us safe. It's a very important part of our primitive brain. And at the same time, by default, what happens is because of that, many of the decisions that we then make on a daily basis, much of the action that we then take as a result of those decisions, the thoughts that we're having, is coming from a past referenced moment. Or it's coming from a past referenced experience or association that we have. And again, in many ways, this is a very important function. It's a very good thing for us as humans. But in the context of growing and scaling a business, which for almost every coach is a brand new experience, the problem comes in very often when we're looking at certain things in the business from this past focus lens, where, for example, you are either conscious or subconsciously looking for evidence for certainty in things like a particular strategy, for example. I see this present a lot, or in your ability to achieve a certain result, or in whether or not a certain approach is going to work for you. And what happens is that when you are in this place, when you are in this past focused state of mind, you will generally not be connected to your future self. You won't be connected to that future state. And the vision that you have for yourself, for your business, by default, unless you have awareness to this, what happens is you will fall into your default way of thinking, into the default way of looking at things that more than likely will be based in the past. And I see this come up so often with my clients where, depending on what might be presenting for them, what a lot of times is happening underneath the surface is that they are unconsciously looking for evidence or validation, whatever it is, through a more past focused lens. Because again, that's our default as humans. And the rub with that is that ultimately that does not serve their future vision. That does not serve the future version of themselves. So it's so important that we can use the future self consistently, that we can use it to remind ourselves of where we're going and what we're building. And this is where I see that it really can become a tool that can help to advance you to your next level, just by nature of your perspective change, by the shift of even looking at your current challenge or the current circumstance that is in front of you from a more future-focused lens, through the lens of your future self. And from that place, it can become a very powerful tool for you in the process. So one of the shifts that I would encourage you to make is to take a look in this moment where you might be looking at your business or a specific challenge in your business or a circumstance in your business, and where you might be looking at it from a past focused lens. And I want you to really consider this for yourself and challenge yourself right now to look at where you might be doing this, where you aren't actually using your future self, where you're not looking at the future version of you, the future version of your business. And I want you to also pay attention to the impact of that, to the result of that, where this has likely had an impact on your business, on the results that you're experiencing. So this is a really, really key element of it. Okay, the next reason why using your future self, your future vision, is such a powerful tool for your present is because it helps you make clearer and more profitable decisions in your business. Because when you are using the lens of your future self, so let's say, for example, that you are looking at your overall strategy, for example. So for many of you, you are in a place where you know that you need a different strategy for your business. You know that you need to do things differently to go to the next level. And so going back to what we just talked about, by default, it's very likely that you're thinking from a past focused lens. And what will happen is that if you really look at decisions that you have made, or maybe you're actively in the process of making, and you look at from there the actions that you've taken, my guess is that so much of that is coming from that past focused place. So this might look like doing the same thing, yet expecting different results, or maybe not doing the things that you know are the things that are actually going to help you take things to the next level. And you've chosen instead to stay inside of your comfort zone, where maybe you have made the decision to stay where you're at and not fully step into the unknown, to actually do the things that will move your business forward, to make those bold decisions that will feel uncomfortable, that will require you to grow outside of your comfort zone, to learn new skills, to develop your capacity as a coach and as a business owner. So I want you to really look at that, because as a business owner, using your future self as a tool is a real way that will make you more revenue and more profit in your business. And how it will do that is it will allow you to make more growth-oriented decisions in your business. It will help you make clearer and better decisions in your business. It will force you to step up and to lead your business in new ways. It will require that you develop new skills and capacities in the areas that you need to. And the result of that is that you will generate more and more revenue, and you will grow your skills and create more and more value to offer to the world, to help you create more profit ultimately in your business. So my friends, using your future self, your future vision as a real tool to help you make clearer, more growth-focused, more profitable decisions, and thus take more meaningful and powerful action in your business is way more likely to produce the results that you want. Okay. The next way that using your future self, your future vision as a tool is so powerful is because it allows you to start to collapse time. And here's what I mean by that. Just as you are able to make clearer and more growth-oriented decisions in your business and to make more profitable decisions by using your future self as a tool. When you start to use it as a tool in your day-to-day, as you are working in your business, as you're working on your business, what will happen is that you will start to move faster because there will be less resistance in that process. So you will be able to move faster towards that vision. The more that you connect to it, the more that you focus on that vision, the more connected that you are to it. When you do that, the more your actions will align with that vision, the more momentum you will create towards that vision, towards your future self, even if you don't arrive exactly at the destination that you thought or in the way that you thought. And I want to make note here of something very important. When I look back at my career, when I think back to even before I launched my own coaching practice, and when I was leading high-performing teams and developing high-performing teams in my corporate career, what was happening is I was essentially doing exactly what I'm talking about here at all times. And what's interesting is that when I look at that time, I didn't recognize it. I didn't have a lot of awareness around why it was so important. But looking back today and what we're talking about here today, it's something that I really work to instill into my teams, into all of the people that I worked with. And it's why, as I consider our track record and as I looked at the fact that we were able to perform at a very high level and very consistently over time, it's also why when I look at the times when I was presented a new team or I was called upon to go into a team that was struggling, for example, or when I was faced with building a team from the ground up, where knowing what that destination was, knowing what the end game was, essentially that future vision, those results, what that team looked like, going big, shooting for the moon, so to speak, even if we didn't land on the moon, what happened is that we still landed on the stars. And we were way farther ahead than if we hadn't. And the same is true in your business. Your future self is a real tool for you to use on a daily basis to catapult you into your next level and beyond. And even if for some reason you don't land at the next level in the time frame that you thought or in the way that you thought, chances are you're going to be way farther ahead than if you didn't use this powerful tool for yourself. So it's a tool that can be used to accelerate your timeline and move you closer and move you faster into that future version of you. So I really want you to try this on. Think about how you can use your future self as a tool for you and your business. Look at where you might be either consciously or subconsciously using your past as your evidence, and decide instead that you're going to use this powerful tool that you have right now of your future self to accelerate your timeline, to make the bold moves you know you need to and you want to make. This is a really important distinction, one that can serve you really, really well. All right, my friends, have a beautiful week. I'll talk to you all again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the $1 Million Coach Business Podcast. If you're ready to step into the $1 million version of yourself and scale your business to 6, multi-6, or 7 figures and beyond, go to amandakarlstadcoaching.com.